Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday Morning Rail. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday? You guessed it, we do show and tell. Show and tell is always brought to you by Jelsma Graphics, the people who make all the embroidered railroad clothing. Shirts, jackets, club shirts, you name it. It's Jelsma Graphics, Jelsma. Go to that on our website and shop for all your embroidered railroad clothing. Now, with all that being said, today is part 3 of the Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum tour with Rodney Butcher telling us all about the museum, and that's going to start right now with Rodney. Well, Rodney, let's start at this third section, and where do we start from here?
Well, welcome back. We're going to cover the Seaboard Airline in Jacksonville. The Seaboard had the back end for all their operations. Unlike the coastline, they handed their Miami trains off to the FBC. So we're going to start with the Seaboard heading south and west. The Seaboard trains would leave the terminal and head out on the terminal main line and head west. And as we pan, we'll go by the WestJack Yard facility, which we covered earlier. Past WestJack's freight yard, and continue out towards Edgewood Avenue. Alright, when the Seaboard continued west, they reached Baldwin. And at Baldwin, the line diverted south on what was formerly the Florida Railroad that ran from Fernandina to Cedar Key, which they used that line from Callahan to Waldo. But in the meantime, we're going to come out at Baldwin, where the line crosses and heads west and heads south, and we're going to continue past Baldwin Yard, the Florida Steel Foundry, and the ice house tracks of Baldwin. And this is as far as we model the Seaboard going west and south. Alright, we're going to follow the Seaboard north out of Jacksonville Terminal. The passenger trains had a snake effect, if you will, as they left the terminal and wrapped around the roundhouse, where at FO Junction, or FO Cabin rather, they came together with the Seaboard's freight line. FO Cabin is where the Seaboard passenger and freight came together to head north. The line crossing the diamond is the freight line that went west. That went to WestJack Yard.
What was the FO?
I do not know.
Okay.
The original Seaboard line came from Tallahassee to the west side of town. Then the Fernandina and Jacksonville came in from the north. We're following the Fernandina and Jacksonville, but in the early 1900s they had to put a belt line when they all came together. So we're following the belt line that came from FO Cabin and joined the Fernandina and Jacksonville at F&J Junction, which is down around 20th Street and the King Edward cigar plant. The Seaboard had transfer runs from WestJack, and they backed into F&J Yard for the shipyard industry.
And the F and J was the...
Fernandina and Jacksonville. After leaving the F and J Junction, we're heading north towards Panama Park, where the railroad single tracked to the north. This is called the Everett Subdivision. The railroad crossed Main Street and then over the Trout River Bridge, which is out by the zoo for those of you that may know the area. And then it traversed through the industrial areas of, as it grew, this was old Duval Station area. They actually ran commuter trains out here, believe it or not, back in the early 20s. But then they built the Eastport Yard for the pulp mill, and in the background you'll see Setzer's, which was a large grocery distributor. So we compacted all this to make it fit, but basically this is the Seaboard's industrial area to the north, and the big plant in the back is where Anheuser-Busch is. And as we progress north, we go out towards Tysonia, where we have a little pulpwood yard and various things as we head north towards Yulee. After we left Tysonia, we ended up in Yulee, where the railroads joined, the Fernandina and Jacksonville joined the previously built Florida Railroad.
Now, Yulee was named after David Yulee, correct?
Yes.
And he had the railroad from Fernandina to...
Cedar Key.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, this line is still in service from Callahan to Waldo. Now we're going to follow the original Florida Railroad, which is the Seaboard's Amelia branch. The branch line that we're going to follow from Yulee to Fernandina. And as we leave Fernandina, we're going to be heading east and go out over the Amelia River, where the swing bridge is currently still in use. This swing bridge was rebuilt in the 30s, and the original swing span was at East Palatka, between East Palatka and Palatka on the FEC, and was barged up when they rebuilt the Amelia Bridge. And at this time was approximately when they stopped running passenger service, because they had built a highway bridge and bus service took the passenger service. So originally it was a huge port, and they had international trade, believe it or not. They had lumber and phosphate. Well, the phosphate shut down, and around the 40s, the pulp mills came in. So the waterfront changed from lumber and lumber export and phosphate to the pulp industry. There's still 2 pulp mills there to this day. There's a yard, and downtown is a beautiful little town, and now what was a passenger station is turned into the Chamber of Commerce. We'll do a little pan of Fernandina now. We'll start in the old historic district up at the north end of the island where the railroad ends, and we'll follow it down into the downtown area and show you the little quaint village that it has become. And this will wrap up our Seaboard segment, and we will follow the Florida East Coast and Southern next. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Rodney. That It was very exciting, and I just love it. I just love this place. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. And so that ends our show and tell 177-3. Next week it'll be 177-4, where we'll, as Rodney told you, we'll do the FEC in the Southern. So with all that being said, that's the way it is at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where the sun always shines and running trains is an absolute pleasure.